minute. We don't even know if this thing is safe or not.
Well, best way to find out is to get her out on the ocean, Kitty. If anything's gonna happen, it's gonna happen out there.
All right, November 25th. Went ahead and removed these pieces here. That piece, as you may remember, I did last year, but I'm gonna touch it up. Lightly sand it and put another coat or two on it. And then hopefully, with a little extra time that I have this winter, I'll put a few extra coats on those so they all match. That piece turned out well enough. It was really bad when I first bought the boat. I've got everything torn apart up here. Just trying to figure out how to get to this blue vinyl here. I'm quite likely going to pull that part and replace the vinyl. Another thing I have to do is build a nice little plate for that to sit in. There was an ICOM in there from 1990 previously, a really nice ICOM unit for the time. This, I have the MMSI number and everything. I gotta get it wired up to the Garmin. In the Garmin instructions, it tells me which wires I need to use. GPS in and out. So, making a little progress. I just cleaned things up a little bit. I'm going to take the Yeti home and get it cleaned up. These lowers and these guys are coming out today. They're going to go see Mr. Dean Chaff of DC Canvas in Harrison Township. He's always done all my work. He's always done a phenomenal job. So that will be exactly where it's going. You might notice that we have a fastback. Well, it's because I'm on the fence about having her shrink wrapped this year since I have so much to do. And the boat actually came with two sets of canvas. Old canvas and new canvas. Here's the old canvas. And it's waterproof. I've already checked. So the previous owner must have waterproofed it right before getting new canvas. It's holding up well enough to get me through the winter. I may still actually get it covered, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I could save that $500 and put it into something else, like the sea deck job here, or maybe the extended swim platform. Or maybe he paying someone else to wheel out the remainder of the boat. I never did wheel out up there. I got to the rub rail, and a little bit above it, there's like a lip that goes all the way around the boat that's about 6 inches tall. So I wheeled that out and waxed that. Other than that, nothing else above the rub rail really got done. Those two hatches still need to be rebedded and sealed, but I did rebed and seal the very forward one. And I had a custom-made cover for it because the sun was getting in my face, honestly, anytime we slept up front. So here we are. Let's try and make a little progress. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is probably remove the ice maker to give me access. I need to get under there anyways to finish some wiring. And it looks like this one here, I might need to be from under there to get to the hardware. I'm a tactile learner, so I have to go ahead and do these type of things first to learn. I could just go on Facebook and message Al, the other guy that owns the 390 Owners site with me. He seems to know everything. Alright, so on this side, which is all nasty, I'm going to clean all this, don't worry. There's a 7/16 nut and Phillips head. Went ahead and used my cordless impact there and a wrench. That stops it from sliding any further. I believe, so long as there's not one on this side, which there doesn't appear to be, it should just slide all the way forward. Hopefully I can do this without that. Okay, a new plan of attack. For 390 owners, at least after 88 when they started doing these fiberglass ones, the tub here. Before 88, these were made out of wood. These are glass. So I can only speak for that. If you pull the top drawer out, it'll give you access to a hole right here, in which you'll see the stud out of the back of this, and it'll have a nut you can remove. I replaced all mine with wing nuts to make it easier. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this guy here, and then it should slide all the way back. I just figured I'd stop fighting myself here and just do this. Alright, there she is. So, excuse the mess. We got the one stud here, one stud here, one stud here, and then one stud here. I have to remove this panel to get to this one. There's like a cutout area right here from the factory, and you can barely reach your hand in down there and get to it. I did not do that one. I ended up just doing the other ones because I didn't want to remove that panel, and it moved enough out of the way here for me to slide this off without any incidents. It's the original upholstery. I can tell that because every piece that I've replaced so far, the original had the exact same writing on it. So the backrest there and those three cushions are new. Both of these backrests are new. That whole panel is all new. So all that's left is these two small cushions and the two big seats. So yeah, up in there, there's two access panels to get to those. There's one there. One there. Oh, this is filthy. So I'm going to clean up inside there, clean up top here, and then in the spring I might actually like wax this area just to make it pop a little better, look new. One thing I definitely have to do, if I have to do the same thing on the other side, which I don't believe I have to, I believe after I remove that ice maker, there'll just be studs that hold that down, straight down. But anyways, there's a gap over here. I put this piece of piping in there to try and hide it, but really what happened here is there was a part in a video a long time ago, last year, when I was remaking these, when I said, not sure why there's this 1/4 inch lip right here from the factory, but we're not going to put it back and we'll see what happens. Well, that 1/4 inch lip was to make up this gap. The old C-Ray people at the factory knew they had an issue and corrected it. So I'm going to try and shim it. I'm going to loosen up all these pieces of hardware like we did on the other side, and then shim that up and then retighten it back down, and hopefully that fixes that gap. And then I won't need that piece of piping there. No one really noticed it, but it drives me crazy. right. Well, got these out. You have to pull the ice maker out, and there's 4 screws. Now, everybody has issues with their boats that they buy pre-owned, and I can't help but blame it on the previous owner. Maybe it was him, maybe it wasn't. I do know that I did find a bunch of galvanized hardware in that drawer, so it's a little suspect as to craftsmanship. But there was only 2 in each, and on this one of them was a machine screw, the other one was a self-tapper. That was a self-tapper and a self-tapper. Well, not so much. These are all supposed to be captive nuts, so yeah. That should have been 1/4-20 machine going through all 4, and for whatever reason he decided not to anymore, and maybe leave a few out. So whatever. When Dean rebuilds these, I'm going to put new captive nuts into the bottoms and use all new hardware when I put it all back together. And I'll probably take these home and maybe buzz them down. I'll probably just oil these, just like I did the anchor locker, or not anchor locker, line locker there. Yeah. Just gonna clean this up, just like I did over here. Gave it a quick once over with some Windex. It's wintertime here in the marina, so we have no access to water. Come springtime, we are giving this thing quite a cleaning. So I'm here at DC Canvas going over the design we're going to go with on the port and starboard forward-facing seats in the cockpit. While I was down in Florida, I went to Flounder Pounder, or SeaRayParts.com, picked up these embroidered pieces here, which are going to go on the backs of the seat, which are over here. Those 2 guys. They actually had handles on the back, which I'm not going to put back. Alright guys, here I am. There's no turning back now. Ripping up carpet. I have to remove all this because I need to get to the water tank, which I suspect is leaking. Possibly not. It's a remote possibility it's not. Could possibly be a fitting or something back there on that water tank. Carpet's coming up, linoleum's coming up. Stairs are changing from carpet too. Basically, I've got a few buddies that know what they're doing when it comes to carpentry, and I'm going to be using them. My buddy Flintstone, Kip from the boat club, probably Captain Bill too. This is all going to be teak and holly. It's going to look nice. I'll probably utilize that same metal trim right there. Around here, I'm probably going to use something like 1/4 or 1/8 inch pieces of solid teak to trim that out. Same thing with this guy. In here, carpet's coming up, and we're going to have to figure out what we're doing with tile. It's going to be some sort of bluish, blue and gray type tile. We absolutely hate this carpet in here. No idea why Sea Ray did that. So this is all going to be wood. I'm on the fence about doing the wood up there in the stateroom, or in this stateroom. I think I've got enough to do just with making all this out of wood for now. So for now, I'm saying I'm going to not do the staterooms, but it's possible I may in the future. So we'll see what happens with that. Another thing that I have to figure out over the winter here, I have to pull all this out and get to the inside, like deep inside of the air conditioner back here because it's not working. I've pulled this guy out. Everything tests fine here. I got 120 volts coming from the panel to here. I have 120 volts coming out of here, triggered by the thermostat going down here. I can see the 120 volts make it to like a bus bar on the top, but after that it does nothing. So I believe it's either the capacitor or the relay on the inside of there. We shall see, I guess. So that's that. I got plenty to do to keep me busy for a minute here. We'll see what happens. No turning back now. Alright, guys. I got most of it up here. It's a little dusty in here. So I got it all up, except for some stragglers there. This rubber wheel here that I used for taking the stripes off the side of the boat actually works magic on this, on these little stragglers. So I'm going to keep using that, and then use the shop vac to vacuum it all up once I'm done. And then I'll move on to the linoleum.
The USS Saratoga?
Yeah, the old Sarah.